What's up guys, Captain Ron here with another video. By the way, this heat needs to go away. It is super hot. I'm drowning like a rat back here, but working on my Duramax again, the dirty old Max, to bring you guys some cool content. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually go replace the upper control arms, and we're going to replace the tie rod ends because the ones we have on here are not doing the job. They are rusty, crusty, and we broke off the camber pin on one when we tried to do an alignment before. We're going to replace the keys on here. A lot of new components to go on here, so make sure you guys stay tuned. This ought to be a good one. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on not only getting the upper control arms replaced, but we've also got tie rod ends we need to get replaced. Before we went on vacation, we put on some high quality AutoZone tie rod ends just to get us by, but now we've got some better ones put on. We've got some Kryptonite tie rod ends to put on, and then we've also got a set of Kryptonite upper control arms that we're going to replace with these stock ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tie rod end off, and then we're going to work our way up here to get the upper control arm off. Alright, so we got the castle nut loosened. We're going to take that off, but as you can see, we got a jack under there holding that up, because what happens is that you take that castle nut off there and you don't have a jack there, the tension from the bottom control arm will just shove it down, and then it'll have a harder time of getting that back up there seated properly. There's like nothing to that.
3 hours later.
Alright, so we got one of the camber bolts out. As you can see, it's pretty nasty in there. Rusty, crusty. The thing's probably been there ever since it was made. Same thing goes for this side. Take that one out. That one doesn't look any better. So, got the two camber bolts out. Already got the disconnect from here, and it just magically pulls right out. And then that is the reason why we're replacing it, because that thing is jacked. So, got one side done. Now let's do the other side. Alright, so while we got this thing out of here, what we're also going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to replace these camber pins. As you can see, those things are pretty rusty and looking pretty crusty as well. The other side actually broke one of them, so we are going to replace camber pins here, here, and on the other side as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Pretty easy to do. You just basically take them to Pound Town and get them out of there. Maybe. That sounded pretty solid, Kyle. While we're in here, we're going to check these camber pins real quick. Make sure that they're not damaged or anything. I know for a fact the ones on the driver's side, we actually sheared one off because it got super rusty, crusty, and just plain out broke. These on this side actually don't look that bad. So what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up the face of all the camber, areas. Make sure that they are good, no rust, and that way when we go to put in our new hardware right here, they'll actually be able to slide easily, won't catch on any rust, and hopefully not transfer any rust over to our new components. Alright, so we got everything out. We got the upper control arm out, we got all the rust out as much as we possibly could. We painted over that, let it dry for a few minutes. We tried messing with the torsion bars and the keys because the kit does come with new keys to put in. However, I've got some issues with my torsion bar and my the rack that it actually goes into, so we're gonna have to come back to that and replace that entire bar and not the torsion bar itself, but the bar it actually goes into at a later date. So that'll be another video for another time. But for right now, back to control arms. We've got them all assembled and put together. Got the Zerk fittings put in. Got all the bolts tightened down for the bearing, or no, not the bearing, the ball joint, and comes with a brand new castle nut. So we're going to go ahead and get in the process of putting this one back in. Alright, so we got the new upper control arm in there. Not exactly 100% tightened down on both of the bolts in there. But you can see you got your Zerk fittings up there, so they're accessible, so you can grease them up as much as you need. Plus you got your Zerk on top of your ball joint as well. And it's all nice and pretty and green. So now we gotta get this into the knuckle and get it bolted in. Alright, so we got both sides done now. What we're going to do at this point is we had to go in and I had to replace the caliper pins on each side. One of them is still here. The other three had broken off or actually came out. They had been replaced before. They came out during the disassemble of the old control arm. So what we had to do is go back in and replace those. They weren't holding real well because they were the kind with a little knurled end on it. So I went in, I tack welded those in so those will actually stay, won't go anywhere. And now we just need to do the alignment, get that set, get the camber set, get the toe set, got the new kryptonite tie rod ends on as well. So those are ready to go. Get all that set and we'll be done. One other thing that we need to do as well is that since we have this new control arm, it has all these different grease zerks in here for us to be able to grease up our newly put in components. So we also need to hit those with the grease gun as well. Alright guys, so we got the alignment all done. I just took it out for a test drive and it drives beautifully. It drives straight as an arrow. Still got a little bit of play in the steering, but I think that's from the idler arm or the steering linkage itself. That'll be a project for down the road. Not worried too much about it right at this point. But as we can see from this, make sure I get a good picture of it, we no longer have any of that wide stance camber going on with the wheels. They are all 100% straight, no more lean to them, and it looks good. So just got a hold of Boost Auto. They're going to send me some replacement mirrors, not the entire mirror assembly, but some replacement glass, because my LEDs for my turn signals don't exactly light up correctly. So they're going to give me some new glass for those, so we'll put those in another video as well. Make sure if you guys like what you guys see here today, hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Let me know that you're stopping by and saying hi. So until next time guys, this is Captain Ron signing off, and we'll see you next time.